So now we're moving on to something that in your program we have referred to as the legacy tribute. And it was an idea that came to us after the passing of many of you know Murray Galinson. Murray was on our board at the time, and it was a huge loss. Waves of loss went through this community with his family, friends, and colleagues. The board and staff of San Diego Grantmakers decided to dedicate this conference to Murray. He was a sitting board member at the time, as I said, and a longtime leader here. We also mourned the loss of other philanthropic leaders that were lost last year. Today, we'll hear about Murray and about Gail Littman, who will be honored by Charlene Seidle, Jennifer Adams Brooks, honored by Steve Smith, and Jan Tuttleman, honored by Jeri Rubin. They will each take a brief moment to highlight their philanthropic legacies, how they took philanthropy to new heights. We are so pleased to particularly welcome Elaine Galinson and Leon Brooks. Thank you for being here. We will start the conference with a conference dedication by Marjory Kaplan. She's the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Jewish Community Foundation of San Diego and a member of the San Diego Grantmakers Advisory Board, and she'll talk a little bit about Murray.
Good morning. What a privilege it is to speak about Murray this morning because so many of us knew him well. I hope that I can at least begin to express how much Murray meant to us. When we talk about Murray, it's hard not to smile. He made life in the community just so much fun. Doing good seemed to be part of his inner core, and he seemed to get such a kick out of it. Murray's approach to philanthropy was a winning combination of both a great business mind and a great big heart. So first, his business approach. Murray brought great insights to any discussion about giving, wanting to know the impact, how a project was improving lives, changing lives, understanding the players involved, and always focused on the credibility and competence of the nonprofit leadership. In fact, he was a great friend and mentor to the nonprofit world and will be honored next week at the National Philanthropy Day luncheon over at the Bayfront Hilton. Besides his incredible business mind, Murray's heart was huge. I know he would really laugh at me, but I'm going to compare him to a quote by Mother Teresa. The following quote really reminds me of Murray. "Let no one ever come to you without leaving better or happier." That's what Murray did. He made people feel better, happier, valued, and important. He was really the ultimate peacemaker, and many of us called upon Murray to help us resolve really tough community problems because he did make everyone feel important. He heard everyone, and then he used his wonderful sense of humor to come to the rescue. Murray was especially a champion of people with no voice. In Judaism, the highest form of giving is to help people become self-sufficient, leveling the playing field, and that's what Murray loved. He focused on education, job development, foster youth, children, and so many other important areas. One of the final stories we like to remember about Murray is one that Charlene Seidle told me. It was at a family foundation meeting where his 6 grandchildren were talking about the grants that they had been allowed to give the community, and they had done their research, and they were just doing a terrific job telling the rest of the family where they wanted to give. Murray was just beaming, and he told us that story many, many times. Elaine, Murray's wife, is here with us today, and we're so honored. Elaine and her family carry on the incredible generosity of the Galinson family philanthropy. And Elaine, all of us here, and many, many others in the community, are the beneficiaries of Murray's tremendous legacy. His memory will always bless our work. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. There's a beautiful story in the Talmud that some of you may be familiar with, but I'm going to tell it again because it so well describes all that our beloved and much missed Gail Littman stood for and worked so hard for. The tale tells of a man named Honi who comes across another man planting a carob tree seedling in the ground. Honi is struck by this and asks the man how long it will take for the tree to bear fruit. 70 years, replies the man. Honi then asks the man whether he thinks he will live another 70 years and eat the fruit of this tree. Probably not, replies the man. However, when I was born into this world, I found many carob trees planted by my parents and grandparents. Just as they planted trees for me, I am planting for those who will come after me. Gail loved the last line of this story so much that she had it on her signature line in her email. There's so much to learn from this story and relate to Gail, but I'll just focus on 3 elements. First, vision. It takes a remarkable and unusual vision to see the world beyond yourself and beyond the current realities of time. Gail was blessed with this vision. She saw not only the needs of the community today, but also what might draw and compel people 5, 10, 15 years from now. She was able to spot trends and use the clarity of her vision to give philanthropic advice and shape innovative community programs. Second, an incredible sense of timing. I don't know much about growing trees, but I know that timing is critical. Timing of when and how frequently to water the earth, nurture the growth, and when to back off and just let nature take its course. Gail's sense of timing was spot on. She envisioned and launched the Endowment Leadership Institute and the Governance Leadership Institute, programs of the Jewish Community Foundation, at just the right times for the community. The Governance Leadership Institute in particular came just before the economic recession, when it was such a critical time for leaders to take a hard look at the financial strength and organization and leadership of their organizations. In Gail's leadership of the Foundation's youth programs, she knew when to play a strong guiding role and when to let the young people figure things out for themselves and deal with hard issues. Her intuitive sense of timing made her a superb manager, coach, fundraiser, program developer, and so much more. Third, legacy. About 6 months before she died, Gail told me that she envisioned her own legacy with crystal clarity. Her role was to give others the tools to craft their own legacies, to marry their resources and their dreams for the community in a way that would have exponential effect and live on beyond their physical time here on this earth. Thanks to Gail, hundreds, actually thousands, of individuals and families in San Diego and across the United States and beyond have developed meaningful, life-changing legacy plans. Scores and scores of organizations have secure futures because of the coaching that Gail provided to them. And tens of thousands of lives are being touched, saved, and enhanced because of Gail. The impact of her work lives far beyond and is an ever-present source of hope and light for us all. And though she had so much less time than we expected to work on her legacy that she articulated to me, I think it's strong and is far-reaching and resounding. Like every first after Gail's death, I have to say that it's strange being at this conference without her. I have wonderful memories of past Grantmakers conferences where I used the time to catch up with Gail. Even though we were close colleagues, we were so busy that sometimes we had to come to events like this to reconnect. In fact, one of my most treasured possessions is a framed photo taken of me, Gail, and our colleague Anahid at the Grantmakers conference 2 years ago, which was given to me when I went off the Grantmakers board, and I really treasure that. Gail understood the power of convening, of like-minded people coming together to learn and to grow. Professional development for herself and for others was of paramount importance to Gail. She organized dozens of opportunities like this, and she never underestimated the power of face-to-face connection in the age of Facebook. There's that vision again. Gail's memory is a blessing. All of us in this room who knew Gail miss her and yearn for her advice and guidance. Yet thanks to her hard work, her dedication, her wisdom, her clarity, Gail lives on in all the lives she touched and will continue to do so for generations to come. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Technology is not my strength, but I'm here to honor and say a word about Jennifer Adams Brooks. Jennifer was a philanthropist. The philanthropic community of San Diego will miss her caring, her love, and all that she gave to San Diego and to those of us who care about San Diego. Her passing was a great loss to our community, to the San Diego Foundation, and to all of us personally. I first want to recognize Leon Brooks, Jennifer's husband, who has been a wonderful friend and was the love of Jennifer's life. Leon, thank you very much for joining us. We often think of philanthropists as people who give away a lot of money, and many of them do. Jennifer was a philanthropist who gave of herself primarily. She was generous with her money, but even more generous with her time, her talent, and her wisdom, perhaps the most valuable gifts anyone can give. She was an extraordinarily caring person, and her years with the San Diego Foundation exemplified that caring. She gave her time and energy toward people who desperately needed it and toward creating a better tomorrow for all of us. So with all the grant makers, we celebrate Jennifer's professionalism, leadership, warmth, and kindness, and her great sense of humor. What a great laugh she had. In this wonderful place of books and recorded human understanding, I cannot help but think that Jennifer would have loved it here. And I know she loved being with grant makers, kindred spirits who were committed to improving our community and seeing to its future. At Jennifer's memorial service, it occurred to me that Jennifer's theme song should have been the hymn, "Come Labor On." Jennifer was always laboring on in efforts to shelter the homeless, feed the hungry, care for the sick, and see the needs of the poor. She truly was a leader in encouraging the community to love all of its neighbors. Today, I hear her and Murray Galinson and all of the philanthropists we are honoring calling us to labor on, to continue the work that they were doing. We build on their legacy, but we still have much to do, and we honor all of them by doing it. Thank you.
On September 6th, Jan's birthday, our community's collective gaze was immediately directed upward to the most glorious rainbow high above, which was so symbolic of the beautiful and far-reaching gifts that Jan imparted through her visionary leadership. Jan extended herself in an appreciative and generous way and elevated and connected people throughout her life's journey. She had an uncanny ability to cultivate communities in a selfless manner, yet was always a fundraiser at heart for the causes she so strongly believed in. We met as MBA candidates at UCSD, where I was immediately impressed and inspired by Jan's leadership as she spearheaded multiple fundraising campaigns to support the school. Jan imbued in us classmates a sense of awareness and responsibility as emerging leaders, and challenged future classes to foster their own visions of advancing the school's development efforts. Jan was action-oriented and tenacious in her approach to any endeavor. She was enthusiastic about leveraging her business acumen and scientific expertise to benefit a wide range of companies and organizations, not just in San Diego, but also in Peru, Tunisia, Israel, and beyond. Jan truly sought opportunities to make an impact in every aspect of her life, yet in an unobtrusive manner with genuine warmth and humility. She was the embodiment of compassion and support. Jan's natural reaction to adversity was to courageously shift the focus beyond her, shining light on important matters for the benefit of others whose needs seemed greater than her own. As a single parent with two beautiful daughters, Sophie and Emma, Jan grew passionate about empowering women through philanthropy. She became the founding chair of the San Diego Jewish Women's Foundation to address critical needs within the community. And later, she expanded on this commitment by joining with Gail Tauber and Linda Katz to form Women Give San Diego. Through processes of grant-making, advocacy, and collaborative networking, Jan was determined to improve the lives of women of all ages and across socioeconomic classes, and provided the tools crucial for both financial independence and business success. Above all, Jan believed in the power of mentorship and serving as a positive role model. Jan had an uncanny ability to see potential and talent in others, which they may not have even seen in themselves. And she intuitively knew how to nurture them and instill the confidence necessary to navigate meaningful new paths. She was constantly evolving herself and actually seemed to grow younger with age as she became more open, curious, and embracing of innovative ideas. Jan loved this community. We are all blessed because Jan was among us as a vibrant and powerful force of nature. We celebrate the profound impact Jan had on all who were privileged to know her and who were touched by her grace and generosity. We continue to learn from her future-forward, service-oriented entrepreneurial spirit and to be inspired by her extraordinary philanthropic legacy. And we will carry Jan mindfully in our hearts always. Thank you.